Ahoy, this is Zdenka. When it comes to vlogging and online streaming, there are so many options right now on the market. The market is flooded. For vlogging, you can use something like this, or you can use something like that, or you can use vlogging package, including streaming package, all in one type of deal. This little thing, SNOPPA VMATE. It fits in the pocket. It's basically a very tiny little camera on a tiny little gimbal. And I'm very eager to review this in today's video. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. Online store, when it comes to photography and video, they have everything. Paragear.com has sent me this product. And for the new faces, welcome. My name is Zdenka Darula. If you want to learn how to take better photos and videos with the latest gear and possibly participate in creative camera challenges, consider subscribing. As you can see, it is very small and also very light. It weighs only 118 grams. The camera comes in this black carrying box. Once you take off the top part, you can attach it to your phone as a phone holder. You can also connect it to your phone via Wi-Fi. But for now, let's keep the cover off completely and just review the SNOPPA VMATE on its own quite thoroughly. Camera is right here. Here is a gimbal. Tilt, roll and pan motor, touchscreen, stereo and noise reduction microphone. There is actually two of them. One is here and the other one is right there. Indicator light is here, SD slot for tiny memory card which comes with all this. I have 64 gigabytes here, Type-C port at the bottom for charging, and here you can attach wrist strap if you like. The first charge was quite fast. Once you fully charge it, you can get up to 160 minutes working time. But now let's talk about the camera. It has an ultra wide angle lens, 81 degrees. You can film in landscape or portrait mode. When it is off, you switch that by rotating the lens 90 degrees. It is also ND filter compatible. First thing I really want to see is how stable the footage looks like. So let's do just a walking test, and after that let's do full speed running test. I've been using this for a few days now, and I really tested it actually yesterday when we went on a hike with a family, and I noticed that when you turn it on, once in a while you need to calibrate it because otherwise you will end up with walls quite crooked. Fortunately though, the calibration process is quite easy. You just put it on a table and you let it do its own thing. What I mean by that is that if you have it in your pocket and you suddenly decided you need to film something very quickly, if you turn it on and you have it on the Fpv mode, there is no issue whatsoever. It just works amazingly, and I think actually you should be using it mostly in the Fpv mode because that's what your eye see and it reacts very nicely. But if you want to film something steady like panning shots and you need to use the mode pan and tilt follow mode, that's when I notice that here and there it needs to be calibrated. So that's the only way you get that. When you are using it and moving it here and there, left and right and up and down, once in a while you feel a little vibration in your hand, and actually I noticed that when it needs to be calibrated, that's when you feel it the most. The navigation menu is super simple and straightforward. That is something I really actually like on this VMATE. When you swipe down, it will take you to different gimbal modes: pan, tilt, track, fast pan and tilt track, FPV track, pan track, fast pan track, and lock. When you swipe left, you can reset the gimbal. When you swipe left continuously, you will turn the gimbal 180 degrees towards you, and you can turn it the same way back. I gotta say one thing, that this little move to turn it around 180 degrees was a little challenging for me. I couldn't figure it out for a while, and then I realized that you have to swipe in the lower part of the screen. Some of the moves are quite sensitive and you have to know exactly at which spot to put your finger on. When you swipe right, you can switch between recording videos, taking photos, panorama, time-lapse, slow motion, and night shot. So let's go ahead and see some samples of panorama, slow motion, and night shot. First, I'm going to create panorama of this location. Let's create time lapse next. Slow motion is recorded in 1080p and it is 240 frames per second. Lastly, let's look at the night shot. When you swipe up, you get to choose your resolution. Options are 4K, 1080p, or 1080p fine mode. You can change frame rates to 24, 25, 30, 50, and 60 frames per second. You can switch between formats H.264 or H.265. And then we have more settings to control your Wi-Fi connection. Turn on full screen view. Here's where you can calibrate your gimbal. You can turn on timer, control brightness, select language, format SD card, see how much battery you have left, and check firmware version. And also see regulatory. If you place your finger on the display and start sliding it up and down a little bit more on the right side, you will move the gimbal. It's sort of like a joystick. You can also move the gimbal left and right. And again, I would say that it's in the lower part of the display. Another thing I noticed when I was using this on a daily basis for last week is that the display here and there has mind on its own. You just swipe, 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 and nothing is really happening. You are not getting to the menu you want. I had to restart it a few times, so it works again. It is a little bit buggy, and I did update the firmware, and I can see that they are working on it, and I'm only hoping that that will get corrected with future updates. Who knows, maybe it's my finger, hard to detect. It's app review time. Once you connect it to your phone and open a VMATE app, more options open up, and just like I said, you connect it by Wi-Fi. Live view is quite nice. Circle on the screen is your joystick. You can move the camera in all directions, turn it around 180 degrees. When you tap 2 times in the center of the joystick circle, the camera will recenter. When you are in the video mode, you can tap on the screen to select brightness and focus. If you are in the photo mode, you can do the same, plus you will get also a slider on the left where you can select focus by pulling it up or down. On the left side, we have access to gallery where you can see what you already created. Below are shooting modes, photo, video, panorama, trace time-lapse, light field, which is currently under development, and regular time-lapse. If you choose photo, it will be in automatic mode. You can save your photos in JPEG or DNG. You can also select your preferred frame size, 16:9, 4:3, or 3:2. If you click the little arrow down, you will get to manual photo mode, where you can select ISO, exposure, shutter speed, and white balance. Let's look at video mode. You can choose to film in 4K, 1080p, or 1080p fine mode. Frame rate options are the same like in the VMATE camera menu. Formats are the same, and manual video mode is here as well, where you can choose ISO, exposure, and white balance. When it comes to audio, you can use phone microphone, earbuds, or VMATE microphone. And now you should be hearing the sound coming from SNOPPA VMATE. I'm not sure how much you can hear me, but either way, I'm trying to see what the difference is between the audio coming from the SNOPPA VMATE and my smartphone. Face tracking is also available. Simply tap on the square and with finger track your selected area. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this app is also set up for live streaming. Just tap on live button and type in the URL with stream key. Next, we should look at a trace time-lapse, which is basically motion time-lapse. You can add trace points, select interval, duration, photo number, and resolution. You can do them in 4K, 1080p, or 1080p fine mode, and select if you want the screen always on or automatic. Time-lapse is pretty much the same, you just cannot add those trace points. Below shooting modes, we have gimbal modes, settings where you can turn on grid, and broadcaster feature, which is also very interesting. Basically what it does, it turns on this camera to record whatever is in the front, and also your smartphone front view camera, which is recording you as you're talking. So you can be just vlogging, recording yourself talking to the camera, but at the same time you will be recording whatever is in the front. Whatever is recorded in your smartphone will be saved in the smartphone. Whatever is recorded on the SNOPPA VMATE will be saved in the SD card in the SNOPPA VMATE. And it's very helpful. I tried it. I had it on the Fpv mode. So basically wherever I was looking, it was just recording everything and I could talk. It does save time when you want extra B-roll. You just don't have to record it separately. So now I have the broadcaster feature on. So I'm recording whatever the SNOPPA VMATE can see in the front, and this phone is actually recording me, and the sound is coming from the smartphone as well. If you are left-handed like me, you can switch the look of the app the other way. You can turn on full screen view or calibrate your little gimbal. You can also move your photos and videos to your phone or format SD card. If you go to homepage of the app, you have access to tutorials, my creation, customer service. They also offer you to use their VN video editor, which is quite nice actually, and offers a lot of features so you can edit your videos directly on your smartphone. One more thing I forgot to mention is that you can also get VMATE adapters, so you can use a video GoPro or a tripod. So what do I think about this little product? Well, first of all, the battery life could be a little bit improved. 160 minutes is okay, but when I was working with this throughout the day and when we were on a trip, I knew that I cannot just go crazy and record all the time because I know that I'm gonna run out of the battery eventually, and I actually did run out of the battery. What I really did like on this though is the Fpv mode, so you're just recording as whatever you're seeing, you have it in your pocket, turn it on and go. That I really liked. I also really like the broadcaster feature once you pair it with your phone, that you can record whatever is in the front and then you're recording yourself on the phone. That I really liked as well, that it was creating two separate videos. So that actually saves some time, you know, you don't have to record extra B-roll. The bugginess, it's bugging me a little bit. Basically when you're swiping and here and there is not working, that needs to be definitely fixed with the future updates, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna take care of that. Otherwise, it's interesting product, certainly interesting. For those interested to see the current pricing, I have linked it in the video description below, and yes, those are international links, so you can see it in your currency based on where you live. Well, hit thumbs up if you liked today's video and subscribe to all future reviews like these. If you have any questions, comments, simply want to say hi or ahoy, which is Czech, you can leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you, all of my friends, in the next video. Ciao, ahoy.